you think the research design is kind of like a, guardrail that kind of prevents somebody from going astray?
Sure. Yeah, so to be clear, so what these two sections are, so the research design section that comes first is about the question of what is it that you need to do to what's called identify your effect. And what identify means is you are pinning down just the causal effect that you're interested in, right? So I mentioned, I want to know, does taking this pill make you healthier, right? Um, Now, what you actually see in the data, right? You can't observe in the data, oh, this person got healthier because they took a pill. Because isn't in the data,
Mhm.
right? But what I can see is that here's a bunch of people who took a pill and got healthy. Here's a bunch of people who took a pill and still didn't get healthy. Here's a bunch of people who didn't take a pill and didn't and got healthy. Here's a bunch of people who didn't take a pill and didn't get healthy. That's what I can actually see, right? And I can ask myself, well, if I see like a correlation, if I see people who took the pill were more likely to get healthy, right? Why might that have been? What are all the lists of possible reasons that could have occurred? It could be because of the pill. It could be because people who were more healthy in the first place were more likely to take the pill. It could be because people who are wealthier have better access to medical care and they're more likely to take the pill and also be more healthy for other reasons, right? It could be because people who got the pill live in an area where there was not also a toxic spill at the same time, right? Lots of different reasons you can come up with.
Mhm.
And then, just like in a police lineup, right, you're trying to sort of knock them down one by one and leave yourself just with the one that you're interested in. That's identification, right? So, oh, I controlled for wealth. So that's not an explanation anymore. I controlled for how healthy they were at the start. That's not an explanation anymore, right? And you get rid of in different ways all these different explanations until you're just left with one, right? And once you've done that, once you've said, I know that the relationship I'm seeing in the data is now pointing to the explanation I'm interested in, that's when you've identified the effect, right? So the first part of the book, the research design part of the book, is all about how can you ask yourself the question of, well, what do I actually need to get rid of, right? What are those alternate explanations? And what kind of data and adjustment would I need to be able to say, well, that's not the explanation anymore. That's not the explanation anymore. And get yourself just down to one, right? And this is all conceptual. There's no actual math here, right? Because there doesn't need to be, right? Because it's a conceptual question of what are your alternate explanations and what can you do in order to get rid of them.